be here, so. If we get started, we can get out of here real quick, this would be a plan, so. Jamie already volunteered just by the fact that he had his Chromebook with him, that he would take notes tonight, so thank you, Jamie. Yeah, Randy.
You go right ahead.
I'm due. Week, so you're off for another.
I did get the minutes out, did everyone get a chance to take a look at those, any questions, comments, concerns?
Nope.
So if someone wanted to make a motion that we approve those, that would be great.
I'll make a motion.
If someone seconded that, then they will become approved. And I'll try to remember to send them in a time fashion, but I actually sent myself a copy of them marked as approved, so now I just have the floor. So that's my new approach. So Lindsay, town activity, recreation, any updates? Seems like some things going on with, I just don't know which street to look at here.
Yeah, there's a couple updates. So we have started to explore some revenue sources, and amenities that we can provide at Onondaga Park. So Amanda has actually been spearheading that, and it looks like we are going to try to get a couple paddle boards, and some canoes for rental. Our new Firefly program, I think I've mentioned, is super user friendly from our end and our guests end, where we can add these to Firefly very easily. We just get a lot of feedback, people who are camping down there, not everyone has a paddleboard, a canoe, or a kayak, and the reason they're staying down there is because they want that experience, so
right.
it's just another way to enhance that.
I think it's awesome.
So I'm pretty excited about that. Amanda has a ton of ideas. I really want her to come to one of these meetings. She actually is, I think, working right now. I'm just cleaning the facilities, but
Do we have fishing gear for them to use?
that's another one that she's looking into. We have fishing stuff. We just haven't had a process on how to check it out. So that's what she's working on this winter, is just what that process is like. So I'll probably come to you guys with some like fee schedule updates that we'll have to do before the summertime starts. Just to get that out there, because we do obviously want, we're not gonna charge a ton of money, but just something, so that way, God forbid something happens, we have a way to replace it. I know I'm here at Onondaga Uplands, just an update on that. It is going through seeker right now, so I do believe on this coming board meeting, it's just part of the process to make sure that we can do our infrastructure work that we need to over the next couple of years. So they did put a pad down for us to move this cabin. The cabin obviously has not moved yet, but we are in the process of getting that down there. So at least people's.
At least it's not sitting out here.
It's not sitting out there, right. And then, people can start looking at it and get excited for when we finally do place it and it's usable.
Where would the pad be?
So it's a temporary pad. So as you're about to approach up the uplands, do you know where we typically have our porta potty, like during this time of year? Just like right before that bend. It's where the new parking lot down below will be.
Yeah.
In the upland portion. We couldn't put it up top because all that work they're doing is gonna be there, so.
Right.
For right now, it'll
So
be,
just on some like crusher on.
yeah, very basic, a very basic pad right now. So that's exciting. Otherwise, we're ready for winter, little miscellaneous tasks. I do wanna go over our 2025 budget, so that is what I have printed for you guys, so. If you don't recall, from last year, anything that is marked $1, that was a request that did not get approved. What was nice this year is that, Jared and I worked very closely on the items that we needed to cut. So again, budget season, that's a wish list. I go off of our, the parks capital planning guide that we have, also our parks master plan, so that's how I get a lot of these items on here. And I went through and just prioritized like what are needs versus wants. So the things that you see that are $1, those are things that we can hold off on or plan at a later date. Quite a few items are standard, like our, park trees, hanging baskets, mulch, maintenance. But if you go down to where you see Pierce Park pickleball court, those are some of our larger projects that we have for this year. So let's bunch of roof replacements. There's nothing I would say overly exciting on here, minus the paved path around Pierce Park. Got approved. So I'm
I
very
think the
excited
pickleball
about
court on there's,
What do you say?
Oh, for
Good,
outhouse,
yes.
yeah.
Oh,
that's
just for
different.
okay, I was gonna say.
Outhouse, not for Pierce.
yeah,
I did put the request in for Pierce, we'll try to put that in for our 2026 budget, so I do think it would get used out there as well. Does anyone have questions though on what you guys are seeing?
So I've asked for accessibility purposes, the, what do they call it, runway on the sand part at Ononda Beach. Because anybody who has difficulty walking, has a cane or a wheelchair, those are appropriate for all those uses. And more beaches have them, they don't cost a lot. And they allow handicap use of it.
I can have Amanda look at that, we might be able to squeeze it in our budget, you know what I'm saying, like I'll have.
yeah,
to
they
look
can
and
do like a
see.
map or they do
Yeah.
different, yeah,
Well,
so,
it's it's like a hallway runner.
Yeah. yeah.
But you know, you would just have to specify a certain length, and you don't need a very long one there. But you have to come from up higher on the grass, I believe.
Yeah, we'll have to have her look at that.
John Casey might know more about that.
Even with like the rocks that are down there, that they make those to go over there, because we don't have sand.
Well, it needs something to make it walkable. I cannot walk there. I've tried.
You can get, I think it's like a 4 foot wide by maybe 3/4 of an inch rubber mat.
Yeah, it's a
solid
mat.
rubber
Okay.
That can be rolled up in the winter, put inside, or you can roll it out. But those products are out there.
Yeah, I'm aware of the ones that are like for a sandy beach. I haven't seen one that.
You still have to go over the grass.
They even have them on the beach where the horses run
Just sit on the start of the.
on the big island.
And then Lindsay, this budget doesn't include any of the work at the uplands at Ononda. That's all part of that ARPA with
The
not,
ARPA funds.
ARPA funds.
It is a capital.
right,
part of the
right,
capital project,
right.
Yeah, so not part of our typical.
this budget, right,
Correct, yeah.
right.
And we were more conservative with our projects for 2025, because highways projects have been pushed off for many
Yeah.
years, so that's been the priority of the board. Which I definitely agree with, you know, we need to get some of that stuff done. So we did have to scale back a little bit on some of our projects.
And to the roof replacements, especially down in non-native metal,
We are making them metal,
you're
yes,
transitioning. to metal.
Correct, yeah.
Anytime a roof gets done, it's transitioning to metal.
yes.
Any other questions on the budget things? I mean, if you look at it more later too, and something pops up, I'm sure we drop you a note or
Let me
something.
know. You guys
Yeah.
can always email me too if there's like suggestions or, you know, if you're wondering what something in particular is, please ask.
I'm sorry, you have trail maintenance on both sides, the same amount, is that two different places or is it?
So, yeah,
Two
one is
locations?
specifically for Ononda trail maintenance and the other
Oh.
is for the other trails that we're now maintaining, you know, such as like Peanut Line Trail, Outhouse Cave Trails, we do try to make those accessible in winter as well, so yes. We just don't have a line for like Ononda
Yeah,
expenses yet. I did request that for next year, we have a specific category for Ononda, so we can start really tracking revenue, expenses
For each
specific
part,
for that part.
for each
Yeah.
part, it would make sense.
Because it is a little difficult when we do lump it all together.
and then there still is an item line for like the concerts, the movie,
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to add that.
Yeah.
Yes, I did put in, if we wanted to do 4 concerts, I did bump up our line a little bit for that.
Is there anything else on that? Any other, Lindsay, anything else on updates or activities or?
No, the only other update I have is the recreation director position, so that did get approved by the board, which is very exciting. So next year is gonna be the transition year, where I start to hand off and, mentor or whatever, the new person. And then by 2026, they'll be flying on their own, kind of the goal. At this point, we are gonna start with an intern, which will be on our next town board meeting on Monday. Just to see if that's an option. So the civil service list, there was only 2 individuals on that list. I'm not saying that they're not contenders for the position. It would just be nice to bring in someone who's newer and has maybe some fresh ideas. They're currently in sports management. They go to Brockport and they need an internship. Also long-term planning. Having an intern every year, whether it's for Parks and Rec or just other positions in our, I personally think it's a great idea. Just to gauge that interest from people for municipal jobs, whether they stay here or.
Well, the thing with an internship, if it doesn't go well, you're not bound to hire that person.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
and
a
if it doesn't
trial.
work out, it doesn't
Yeah.
work out.
Yeah.
And then we'll just go through the civil service process again, but ideally, this individual seems very friendly, they have a lot of great ideas. We'll see how it goes. I'm not gonna put all my eggs in one basket, but I'm hopeful. And, worst thing happens is that they're there to help support. There's, spring, winter and spring to prepare for the summer. And like you guys know, I have a great team right now too, so we'll see how that goes. But I guess that segues into our fee schedule.
I was gonna say, so that really, I've checked off a whole bunch of stuff all the way down through here. So, yeah, you would mention fee schedule, then the other thing, again, the athletic
Yeah,
fields.
so I feel like last year we talked about our fee schedule, we did do a pretty major, not major increase, but we increased our fees to align more with every other place in the area. We're still well below other facilities. I just didn't know if we were intending on increasing it every year by a certain percentage, so that way in like 5 years from now, it's not like a smack when we raise it again. I just wanted the committee's thoughts on that. I would recommend that we increase it by something. Doesn't have to be anything big.
I don't. I mean, I almost wonder if we'd like to see some of the data from what this year looked like. I mean, were we fully rented, were we? I mean, are we maxing everything out and then maybe it justifies going out, but me, I don't know, it just seems.
We just did the fee schedule update, didn't we?
Yeah, for 2024. I mean, we can hold off and wait till 2026
I'm just,
to do
yeah, I
some
mean,
increases.
It almost seems like there's enough other increases in the budgets and things like that, that maybe this isn't the place to also show another increase. Just to residents, things like that, like, oh, that one's going up too. So I wonder if we hang for a year and
That's fine.
get a good picture with the new software and what's getting rented, what's not getting rented, and how often it's getting used, and then kind of maybe crunch those numbers all together. So with a big picture.
I just off the top of your head, what's the percentage resident versus non-resident revenue I got?
I don't know off the top of my head. I know there is a specific now percentage between resident versus non-resident. I just can't remember what that difference is.
Dan, are you asking for how much it was used, resident versus non-resident, or what's the difference?
No, the revenue that we.
Oh,
brought in
generated.
For the year to come from outside the town.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're saying we don't wanna ding the residents on a revenue increase, but only 10% of the usage is coming from in the town, then we're not dinging the residents.
right.
I think most of the use comes from town.
I don't know. I mean, we do get a lot of out of town.
Especially the cabins.
Yeah, for Onondaga, yes.
Yeah.
But the other, I mean, we might have to separate the parks when we look at it, because I think some of the others, it's mostly town residents.
Yeah, for like the other rental.
The day
facility.
rental stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
like our house.
Primarily, yeah.
I wonder if we hold it for a year and then have, I mean, with the new software, it's as easy now as push a button, you know, and you get good reports and. And then take a look at that type of thing, is how much was, you know, generated by residents and then, and maybe then we just wanna increase the non-resident portion and not the resident portion or something like that.
If we do that once, that would be, and residents see that, it would be in our favor.
Right,
You know, that, oh, we're taking care of our residents
Yeah.
once.
They'll forget by the next time.
And then was there interest from the committee for us to start charging for our field rentals? Like our soccer fields?
Oh,
We don't charge it all.
Nothing.
You know what? That benefits the youth so much.
It does. It
And
does.
I'd be a hard, if we have to, we have to, if there's, the maintenance on them is
How much do we pay to mow?
extraordinary, you know, we would have to, but
I mean, it's all in-house our mowing. I mean, I have a crew 80 hours a week.
But they put some time in it.
Yeah, they do.
I guess where I come from is being involved in youth sports forever. You charge those kids, you charge those families to participate. So the youth organizations are charging these families to participate. And way back when, we used to pay, even sometimes the school would pay. So I wouldn't, me personally, I wouldn't have a problem charging. for
Ju-
field.
Just for comparison, I looked at, the city of Canandaigua charges $50 a week for Baker Park, Northeast Park, for any of those fields, $50 a week per field. Victor charges $25 an hour for a sports field. And Parrington charges $29 an hour for the first hour and $21 after that.
What was Victor again?
$25 an hour for resident use.
Lindsay, they're used frequently, right? Correct?
Correct, yeah, Castle is our primary people, usually they contact the clerk's office. We don't have any, again, this is where I wanna bring this up, we don't have a formal process for reserving
Right.
our field, it's pretty much, okay, Castle's gonna use it, and then recently we've had other organizations call us for field use, and, you know, it's fine, because I think we prioritize our community, and Castle is
Sure.
part of our community, but it would be nice to have something, I'm not saying we have to charge them anything crazy,
No,
but they do use the one field at Outhouse, and then actually they use the field at Cheshire at Pierce Park for practices.
I would support charging some sort of fee for usage of those.
I think a nominal fee. When I was part of youth lacrosse, the problem we ran into would be. One sports organization would reserve all the fields. There wasn't a cost. And you drive by there are 4 nights a week and there'd be nobody playing, but you've made other arrangements because it was reserved and not used. I think if we're gonna have it reserved, I think then what you do is you put a small fee, just enough. I don't know,
But
it
then there
just
has to
seems,
be a system for reserving them.
oh, we have a new, our
Oh, I
system,
thought you just said there's no.
we don't,
What I meant is like, we don't have it in the system, like, we don't have anything formal.
right.
Oh.
It would be as easy as somebody logging on and reserving
Gotcha.
and
okay.
making they push a button,
Yeah, we could get.
it'd be like reserving a cabin, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Show availability and.
yeah. We'd just have to outline what the fields are and,
Yeah, we're trying right now, it's just the two.
yeah, would we do the same? Would we do the same with the baseball? The new softball field, now that they've done
I think we should.
I mean, it could be,
If you.
and again, if it's not reserved. And you show up with a team and there's nobody there, you're good to go, but you're taking the chance that. You know, it could be reserved up for that. You know, that whoever had that reservation would have priority. I mean, do you look at something? I don't like the city's. $50 and you get it for the week, because what happens is you rent it for $50 for the week. And then you use it Tuesday, Thursday, you know, and you've got it, that was what we ran into, you know, with lacrosse, was it'd get reserved for the whole week. I mean, I think we would have to do it by the day. I don't necessarily like by the hour, but
What about a chunk of it, like?
Well, weekends you might have an AM, PM
Yeah,
reservation.
Yeah,
You have to train them to make reservations first. And then
They're gonna,
have a charge to it,
they're gonna.
because you're
reserve
going to
it.
have,
but these groups are used to that, reserving and paying. And most of these others also require that whatever the organization is, has $100 or $1 million insurance
Yes.
liability. Parrington does it like this. They charge any organization that collects money from the kids to play. If it's like a group that calls and says, can I use, you know, if Jamie wants to play Frisbee, you know, and he calls, him and his friends can go play Frisbee on that field. But if, you know, Canandaigua Youth Lacrosse wanted to play a tournament, we pay, because we're gonna charge for that. So I don't know if that's,
I like that very much so. If the organizations are charging the kids, families, I think they should have. to pay.
I kind of like the per hour and the fact that I could say, I need it from 12 to 3. I need it, you know, and then it still leaves it open from 3 to 8 for a different organization, or. So you're not just taking it and then not using it, not, I don't know, about $25 an hour. But if it was like $10 an hour.
or $20 a block, like a 3 hour
Yeah,
block,
yeah.
or. I mean, the only thing with your hour blocks, then you're starting to get, well, that changes what might be good hours in the summer compared to the fall, compared to. Is there support to charge organizations?
I support that. I would support that.
I support it, but the one thing though, when you start asking people to pay, that gives them the open door to. Give feedback
Well, you
when
get
they-
feedback anyway.
when they don't think the field might not be up to whatever they, muddy or wet or not freshly groomed. So, but yeah,
It is what it is.
right,
I know it's not.
yeah, but
So,
no, I paid
I
for it.
do believe those spots are somewhat limited.
One of the flyers that I had said, town not responsible for lining. You know,
Yeah,
there's something like
for
that
sure.
written in there, so it's not, you know, they're responsible for putting their own lines on it, and, but,
And Witch Castle's been a great partner
yeah.
with that. They do a great job maintaining, you know, as far as like lining the
Yeah.
fields and having their nets. That's not something the town has been responsible for.
Do they use it?
I think-
Do they use it every night, Castle, in the summertime? Do they use it?
Almost. I don't think Friday nights, I
mean,
know
it-
for sure 3 to 4 nights.
And that could be a situation too, just like, okay, Castle, you're gonna use it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You're gonna line it, we'll make sure it's cut.
Well, I think we still mow on our schedule, you know, I don't think we change our schedule, you know, for them to say, hey, here's what the field is, it gets mowed on Wednesdays, you know, or whatever,
Oh, yeah,
whatever the day is,
Agreed,
yeah.
but I think they would be able to, at the beginning of the year, say, well, we want it this many weeks, 4 nights a week, this time and this time, okay, that's fine, here's your price. It's $10 a night, I don't know.
Right.
you wanna know what I think? We just had a revale. And how much bitching and moaning went on in this town about taxes going up. And now, all of a sudden, the parks are gonna start charging for this, that, and the other. I
Take
think
your
you need to
taxes
be
down.
really careful
Yeah.
about doing it all in one fell swoop, frankly. Just my opinion.
Randy makes the point that you're trying to bring in revenue to support.
Keep the
Keeping
I,
the
taxes
tax-
low.
I understand that, I understand that. But are we sucking eggs for revenue in the Parks Department?
I don't think so, because our users go out well beyond just our town residents.
I'll bet there's more non-city resident, or non-town residents that use Motion Junction than there are town residents.
Oh, I believe.
You
that.
know, and it's,
Right.
And there
and
are-
who's got the bill now to maintain it? You know, the town, but that type of thing,
I,
right?
would have no issue with charging for the pavilion at Motion Junction. Because it's new, it's very modern, it has.
Oh, I think we
Yes.
will charge for, yeah,
It has.
yeah.
Has special, it attends to special needs, and a nominal charge for that is reasonable. But I think if you do it across the board in the town right now, I think you're going to hear a lot of feedback. I don't know, maybe.
I
I don't think
Personally,
we're intending
yeah.
on increasing anything, or at least the committee. Just, I think, decided that we're gonna hold off on increasing like our gathering rentals.
oh yeah, I think anything, any of the pavilion, any of that stuff would stay.
To larger groups who want to rent out our field. Which would only affect two of our field facilities.
That's fine, but, you know, I think for the regular use of, soccer fields and,
Oh, yeah, I
Baseball
mean, if there's
fields.
something scheduled there, I just like, it
Right.
is now, people can go and use it, you
Yeah.
know? But say Castle has rented it, you know, just like they do any other year.
Right,
People have to move on somewhere else. And you know, you don't wanna see the price of youth sports increase any more than they are, but I do think there has to be some, especially since we're doing all that work in-house, we have to figure out ways how we can somewhat offset our costs. And then in turn, it reduces our taxpayer dollars for our residents. While still providing these types of things.
I would also submit, Mark, the same with those fields. There's more non-town residents using those fields than there is town residents, as far as you look at the Castle program. There's a ton of city residents.
a ton of what?
City residents.
Well, some of the castle leagues are bigger than Canandaigua even.
Yeah.
You know, they're including.
Yeah.
They bring in kids from different areas, but I mean, I personally, I don't see anything wrong with it, with a nominal charge. I would like to do it. Either somehow figure out, I'd rather not do it by the week, because that's what happens is you run it for the week and then you only use it. But if it was a daily. You know, if you needed it 2 nights a week,
Well, I like what Dan said as far as what you said. If the youth organization collects money from the youths to participate in the league that they're gonna use the field, then they're gonna charge your organization a nominal fee to use that fields.
Would that force some leagues to start charging their kids that had it in the past?
No, because if they don't
No.
charge them, then we're not charging. Right? Is that what you-
If,
right,
yes.
So it's actually forcing them the other way, to not charge as much.
No, I'm just saying, if I go to, if my granddaughter goes and signs up for a castle and she has to pay $100. Okay, then Castle's
Making
getting money, Castle's making money, they can afford to pay this nominal fee to use our fields to help offset our in-house cost of taking care of those fields.
Who does not charge a fee? Who's free to play?
if Jamie wanted to play frisbee, we wouldn't
Oh, just
charge you
everybody?
because you're not charging
not
your
an
buddies to
organization.
come play.
You're just, you and your buddies wanna go.
You
play
might have to
football.
pay them to come play with you, but
If somebody wants
Or
to,
not.
if you guys wanna go use it for your turkey bowl game,
right. And you want to reserve it, you could reserve it,
we're not gonna charge,
right?
it's a bunch of individuals.
Wait a minute, where do you play the turkey bowl?
Pierce Park. There were nice cones down there this year. We set up some end zones.
Did you put them back when you were done?
We did. I felt obligated to put the cones back. We had a couple people come by and video from the road,
Oh, that's awesome.
the football game. There were kids and we had like 30 people.
Kids playing and having fun at one of the parks?
Crazy.
Oh, how dare they?
How unusual.
I don't, what,
I mean, it's $10 an hour, it's.
do we wanna go by the hour or do we wanna go $20 $20 a day? I don't know.
To me, if you were to say to a league that wants to rent the fields for 2 or 3 or 4 days of summer, I would say it's $20 a day.
So how do other places do it?
As far as,
How do they charge by?
Victor charges $25 an hour. Parenton charges $29 for the first hour, $21 each hour after
That's
that.
ridiculous.
And the city of Canandaigua charges $50 a week
Is that per field or is that just?
per field. They have, like, Northeast Park is broken down into 3 fields, so there's 3 that you can reserve 3 different
That's $150 or more.
for a week.
How about Farmington?
And there's groups paying it. I mean,
Another,
yeah. I didn't look up Farmington. What, Dan, do you think by the hour? Do you think by the, like,
Just seems like if you're paying by the day, you're locking up that field
Yeah.
for 12 hours.
Well,
Where people could share.
I think most, well, no, I guess summertime use is, I was more thinking. I mean, most of my stuff we played after school, I guess Castle's mainly summer. Most of the lacrosse stuff was, I guess in my mind, we practiced from 4 to 7 every night after school.
But isn't Castle,
But you're right, I didn't. Yeah,
Castle's at night because parents gotta get their kids there. So it's at night.
it is at night, but it is, yeah, I guess there isn't a lot of use of those before 5 o'clock, even in the summer.
You could charge X number of dollars for 2 to 3 hours
Yeah,
and go slightly more for a half day or a full day.
that's a good idea.
Have a
It's 2 hour time.
2 hour
slots.
practice. is
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
cool. That's right.
Is that what you said?
So,
You shot me down.
I don't remember shooting it out.
It says that it's brilliant.
I didn't hear you say it.
I'm fine, I mean, I
should've
think
said it
about
louder.
it, and if, however,
You should have said it louder.
Yeah.
He would have heard it.
I don't want it to be more than the city charges.
No.
no.
No,
I mean, that would be for 5 nights, that would be $10 a night, you know, and it would be about the same. I mean, do we split the weekend into a morning to noon and noon to, you know, one group could come in and play their games in the morning and another, you know, could use it in the afternoon. Do you want to check with the people setting up the program on how,
yeah,
what might actually work and
so
come
I
back with an
think
idea?
we're okay with charging a nominal fee for organizations that collect money to participate in the organization. We're gonna figure out what that
And
is.
Let's get some ideas of how the system could best handle that.
Yeah.
Let's not create a system that is a pain in the neck for the town
Lindsay,
clerk.
Lindsay,
do.
does Castle get a hold of you guys now and say we need it for these?
They will very soon.
So we will know what that is. I mean, from years past, you kind of know, you can know what that is.
Oh,
You can
yeah,
kinda say, okay.
absolutely.
yeah.
And they're great to work with.
Yeah.
They're a great group.
I mean, I'm not trying to, nobody wants to break them, or make it ridiculous. It's just help to offset, it. And it's not gonna pay for it. It's gonna offset it a little bit. I mean.
But
yes,
that's
it-
also gonna help when I get calls from other organizations wanting to hold a couple tournament games at Outhouse, you know, this one group had called, they're like, we're just out of luck, you know, we need one more field and we would love to use your location, and I had to say no because, you know, Castle has booked it through the whole summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they might not have been using, they might not have even
Exactly.
used it back
Right.
then.
Yeah.
Right.
So that it helps, I think, with that aspect.
Well, that's the other part of it too. So if I'm the organization, the guy in charge of the organization, instead of me just saying, well, I want it for these 3 months of summer, I want it
Yeah,
every day.
every day.
Well, if you're charging me and I'm not gonna use it, I'm like, well, let me figure out which days I'm not
Yeah,
gonna use it.
right.
Right, and that's my point.
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Do we need to require the certificate of insurance?
We do now, right? I would think.
Do we?
Yeah,
Oh,
we do, yeah,
okay,
Castle does provide
okay.
that.
but if Jamie is coming, if someone calls and says, hey, can I reserve it for a friendly game of, we wouldn't ask a group like that that's not paying to,
You're not
providing
asking
Yeah.
kids who are playing on the playground. It's
right,
Not any different.
right,
But if it's an unfriendly game, we have to.
right.
I'd say like an
As
organized
long as it's
sports.
friendly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you want to kind of run it by the people doing the program and see what they might recommend, that would be an easy way. Does that work? Debbie, is that okay?
Sure. Yeah, that works.
Thank you. Anything else then on fee schedule, and that works for what you needed for the fields?
That is perfect, just confirmation on our are we still gonna do our sponsorship program like we did last year for our events?
Yeah, I put that on there, just thinking, put it out earlier in the newsletter, we have
I was
this
gonna
before.
try to get it out like January. like-
Yeah, oh, absolutely, next newsletter, sure, yeah, that was the only reason I put it on there.
Perfect.
Just one more quick thing, do you ever reach out to Castle and ask them to move their goals out of the middle of the field for the winter?
Typically we leave them there for storage, like we just
Yeah.
store them there. I don't
Um,
think they have, as far as I'm aware, they don't have a place to store.
Yeah.
them.
could we provide a storage spot at town barn, or at least put them so they're not. I mean, if someone now wants to go out in the middle of the field and, you know, one of them's kind of sitting right in the middle of the field and,
Yeah, I mean, we could,
Yeah.
my team can easily bring them over here, I would just have
Yeah.
to make sure that it's good with Castle that
Yeah.
we're stealing them.
They're their goals, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, I've always, you look at the field and they're tipped over in the middle of the field, you know, during times they're not being used and so. Anything else? Okay, summer events. I guess my initial thinking was 3 concerts and a movie. Lindsay, you said maybe money for a 4th concert.
Or
I
it
don't
just
know.
gives us more money to have, you know, to pay for some of the, a variety of bands.
Yeah. Or offsets the cost to the 3 that we do have. So, I mean, I'm,
If we say, yeah, we're thinking 4, still might only have 3. Right? So when would you put the 4th one? Right now we go June, July, and August.
I don't know, I wouldn't, I mean, I'm happy with 3, but. Maybe we throw around the idea of doing something on a Saturday with a bunch of food trucks. And do a Saturday thing, I mean. The feedback from the food trucks is, it's the music that brings in the people to eat in the food trucks.
Yeah.
They're not, the food trucks aren't real interested in coming back on a standalone Wednesday night next year. They said it really wasn't worth coming with no attraction. So do we toss around, maybe try to come up with a different idea of how we might add something, and for now stick with those same 3 Wednesdays and the movie night on a Friday?
What could we add?
Well, a concert somewhere, I just don't know when.
Just another
or-
concert.
Well, I mean, if you. Well. You wanted to go, at some point we talked kind of about food truck rodeo, and we could have a Saturday. Late afternoon, early evening, maybe even a couple of bands with 4 food trucks, you know, bands switching out.
What's the is the grand opening for the Ananda Park changes planned for? Is there an end date, I guess, yet, or you think? That'd be a good thing to do, introduce the town to the park, having a couple of bands
That'd be awesome.
and whenever that is, probably not 25, right? Yeah.
Is somebody still working on that?
Events committee,
No, I mean, getting the ownership of it.
oh, yeah, that's all back under motion once again. So, yeah,
For years,
I know.
years.
but I think what Dan was talking about was when there's new cabins opened up top and there's a new bathhouse and there's new,
Roads in
that
place,
part of
yeah.
it. So, so do we wanna for now just stick with kind of the old tried and true 3 concerts and a movie?
It's a movie at the end of August or late August.
Can you put a concert before the movie? Doesn't the movie start at dark? Could you
Yes.
do an
Could you
early
have a
concert
band there?
and then back it right up to the movie?
Just,
Could do that.
could
Have a 2-phase
Yeah.
night?
Because the movie
Well,
on a Friday
there is-
night
there is-
anyway.
So date wise, there would be a concert the 13th and then you do another one on the 15th. Would that hurt your attendance at the 13th, or do we just move that one
Depends on who the
concert?
bands are.
What's that?
Depends on who the bands are. What, seriously,
Depends on who the band is,
Have an open mic,
so
let's see who shows up.
that's the problem, is people might not show up to an open mic.
They do show up in the summer for open mics.
I'm not showing up for an open mic.
Well, I wouldn't come there to hear you.
I'm not worried about trying to schedule.
So let's,
There.
Jamie, let's keep that as an idea. We'll look at maybe planning that movie night a little bit differently and adding that.
Could trap the older clientele to start and then the younger
And
kids
hit the
or
food
whatever
trucks
later.
and make, yeah. And I think maybe the other thing is, once we do have an intern around, I mean, ideally,
So you wanna put in for 4 concerts then? Would you wanna have?
well, we've put, 4 have been approved in the budget. There is money that we could
Okay.
probably pull off a
That's
fourth
all I
one.
got.
So we could go with 3 and cover some more of our costs that,
Okay, yep, all good.
that way.
Are we gonna not do round houses this year?
I still like the bounce houses. Just
I
cause
don't-
Randy, wait,
I don't.
wait,
I
just cause
don't.
Randy and I were the only ones there to supervise the bounce house. We just, the football team did not pull their weight. So they were good at parking, but, yeah. But that's the issue with adding more events, it's, you know, who's gonna cover and do stuff, you know? So. But,
Maybe your intern will have different connections.
yes, yep. No, I think that's why we've been requesting this position, so I think we set those dates and maybe we change how we plan it and. Maybe they like bounce houses.
It's bad enough that I'm grumpy at school, now I'm getting grumpy at bounce houses.
Yeah, but you
People
were,
just say, there's the grumpy guy,
but
they
it
must have
worked,
any
yeah.
fun.
It worked perfectly, your grumpiness worked, just like, I felt like I was in the cafeteria over at Red Jacket. Hey, you,
Sit down, get up.
they knew who you were talking to.
Yes, they did.
So are we good with our 3 concerts, and then, I mean, really, it's December, we can kind of flesh out these as we go. June 11th, July 9th, August 13th would be the second Wednesdays again. Is Wednesdays an okay night? I mean, is that, I'll tell you what, there's more and more concerts and more. The city's doing stuff, it just seems like there were all sorts of concerts going on. I mean, if we don't book the bands,
Yeah,
you know. They're booked because they're all over the place, they're in town parks, they're in, you know,
rebar.
yeah, every American Legion, yeah. And then August 15th, that again would be the week before the St. Mary's Festival, I assume. Which
I believe so.
I think we were in better shape scheduling it then instead of against the festival.
Would you like me, so in addition to putting out the sponsorship, would you also like me to put out like an interest form for any bands interested in performing in our events? With a deadline, like,
Or do we look to the ones I don't know, I feel a loyalty to a couple of them,
I think so too.
you know?
I do too, I just don't want, I wanna make sure.
Because we're gonna get more
Different
that wanna
band
do it,
each-
then we have to pick.
Different
and we're gonna
style
pick-
Yes. Well, not
Based
even
on
just that,
loyalty.
different-
so
Yeah,
my issue is, and this stems
Yeah.
from not this committee,
Yes. seriously.
special events committee. There is so much interest in, for example, Halloween at Onondaga, but again, there is no process, and there's a lot of organizations who are interested. And there's a lot of frustration from those organizations plus staff that there is no process to intake this information. You know, how does someone, I don't know, say I have a band and, oh my gosh, I would really love to play at this park because I grew up over in this area, but there's no way for me to have the ability to put my name in the hat to eventually perform here.
But those are the people that we have ended up with are the ones that have a local connection.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
I'm just saying hypothetically.
So
Yeah.
there could be others out there that just because you don't know about a band, Mark doesn't make. them.
Yeah,
And I'm not
Like,
saying we have to
honestly,
choose those people, but it would be nice to see what other options there might be.
How would you go about soliciting
I would
those?
just put it in the newsletter, Facebook, just like our standard,
If you're interested.
if you're interested, submit this form by April
Yeah.
1st.
I don't think there's any harm in doing
Okay.
that. and seeing
I just hate to
what's out
open
there.
up a can of worm that's, then we've got 12 bands that wanna play and then we've gotta,
That's a good problem to have. We
So,
can
yeah.
have 3 bands in one night and we can
Yeah.
have the big old concert thing you're talking about.
And it might lead to having another concert. Say if we have appropriate replies.
And with a dedicated Parks and Rec director, they can be the ones that are really,
I guess that's where my thinking comes is if we don't have somebody else to do it, it falls on us again to do it and,
the idea is that person will
right,
take the lead on.
Right.
On these things, and eventually I could see them taking the lead on a lot of special events. Things as well,
yep,
so.
yep, I agree.
Mark, do you feel like the demographic drives the music or the music drives demographic? In other words, do you get a band that would bring in a lot of?
I think the music drives who comes.
Okay, so when you say this band will be here, that will bring in that crowd.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because I think for,
What, Rock and Boots?
well,
or whatever?
I think for all three of the bands, it was their people, was
Yeah.
the main crowd for all three of them.
Which
I think you'll get their crowd, but I think you'll also get people dedicated to their type of music. So you're always going to get their crowd, like the Mike Yappy.
Yeah.
You're always going to get
Yeah.
the people that like that. But there might be people that just like his type of music that would show up also. So more activity.
I just hate to see people showing up expecting a certain type of music and
What type of music?
they get something completely different.
What do you mean? But I mean, we would advertise that all ahead of time. We would know who the band was gonna be and we would say.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I would hope to have that all fleshed out by May, or even before May, so that you could start advertising and, because we've gotta be on their schedule.
And we've gotta be, we do have to, we have final say over what kind of music and crowd we're getting,
Oh, 100%.
because we gotta be a little cautious on
You know, what mosh pits in our park.
that.
Heavy metal.
So yeah, so do we wanna generate a simple note in
I
the,
think just something simple.
in the newsletter that says,
So like your band name, information, what type of music. and-
Send a
Yeah.
demo tape, a demo
A
tape.
demo, their YouTube channel, I don't know. I think something very basic, I just think that then would give people the avenue of, oh, okay, next, whether they missed that deadline. Okay, next should they know to look for something like that, and then that way we can just. Express that to the people who
Yeah.
call that are interested. Cause didn't we have that one band from Midnight Moon or Midnight something, I don't know. They wanted to play, they sent us multiple messages.
yeah, I can't remember. I was thinking who was the one, what's the one? Oh, who played the last concert? Rockin' Boots. They did reach out a couple of times, but we were using the same band twice in the summer before too, when we started, so. But,
Sure.
yeah, I think something like that would be fine,
I'm sure.
yeah.
That would be a great show.
Anything else then on,
You wanna hear about the Auburn Trail?
the airport?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
So I did bring it up at 2 board meetings. And Bob Minzer swears that Jimmy Fletcher is working on rights of way from people on the other side of the road. So he says the FAA is not gonna budge on what they're saying. So it's not, you're not ever gonna be able to put anything on that side of Brickyard Road. You're gonna have to go on the other side. So I don't know what Jimmy Fletcher's doing, but that's evidently what he and Bob Minzer are in contact on a regular basis. That's what came from Bob.
how can the Finger Lakes Snowmobile Club have a trail that goes along the airport property?
I wondered that same thing. I don't know.
I have asked the town supervisor that question, and he said he'd look into it. So,
Our town supervisor. I had no idea.
But I noticed that the other day when I drove by, that there's a marked trail right out across where we want a hiking trail.
But what are their parameters? Didn't they say that our trail would have to be wide enough?
Yeah, ours has to be 12 foot wide, is that what it is?
8, I think, was the,
The Auburn Trail, okay, so. I thought it was more than 8, but yeah.
well, their
yeah.
concern was that there might be motorized vehicles. Well, a snowmobile is a
are
motorized vehicle.
vehicles.
I mean, there's,
I didn't know snowmobiles were. Really?
the snowmobile trail goes across Brickyard Road, goes right across the end of the airport property, right along their fence, all the way up through behind like Head Farms and it.
On Thomas Road?
So it doesn't make it all the way to Thomas Road. It cuts across right by Head Farms, across County Road 30, and jumps onto field on the other side of the road. But there's a good share of it that's on the airport property, a marked trail.
I'll
so,
talk to Bob about that. Yeah,
I mean, I don't want to get the snowmobile guys in trouble
No.
and not let them do it, but.
no, but I'll
Um,
talk to Bob about it.
So anyway, so we should be checking with Jim Fletcher about
Yeah.
what he's doing with
Yeah.
Reds Away.
Right, because evidently they're in touch on a regular, they both are aware that this is an issue that needs to be solved,
Okay,
so.
thank you for doing that.
Problem.
2025 planning. So we'll go around the room and the next person, when the music stops, they have to be chairperson next year.
Your chairperson. I nominate Mark.
Yeah, second.
Why can't
Third.
you,
All in favor?
But
why can't you be chair anymore?
I think, no, it's term limited.
That's it.
Yeah.
We can
can't
change
really-
that.
We're just making
Come on.
stuff up.
We can
change
re-elect
that.
the town
We
supervisor,
could
but
vote
we can't
for that.
re-elect our.
How about we change that?
If I can get you guys to keep coming to meetings, I'll keep doing it for another year.
We're all here.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
We're all here.
Dennis was the head of it for half of his lifetime,
Yeah.
really.
Mark feels like it's been after.
No, he wasn't the chairperson when he was Parks and Rec director, and then there was another, there was a chairperson on the committee. Because Ally was the chairperson with Dennis before I took it over. Okay, so probably we have to tell that has to go to the town board that I'm the chairperson for, by default.
All in
So good.
favor of Mark being chairperson?
Aye.
Voted unanimous.
With a
Nay.
unanimous vote.
We had talked about changing our meeting structure to an every other month structure.
I vote for that.
Would you let me finish the discussion? And that Randy would be note taker in every
All-time
one of those.
secretary.
You already said it was okay. Thoughts on that? January, March, May, July, September, December. And then on the months in between. Lindsay, I'm expecting that the new person would take over kind of your role of providing the updates and
Yeah, that's the idea.
would coordinate something on, could do something on the months in between with more of an email.
Yeah.
Update rather than having a meeting. Thoughts on going to every other month? And if we have to, if something comes up and we have to meet, we
Do it.
we have that, we know that we would try to meet on that third Wednesday. I mean, don't keep that day free for a meeting, you know, but
I think that's a great idea.
Is there a more time of the year where there's planning that needs to take place? That
I think we need to pay more attention in the summertime,
is it
Spring.
summertime?
Late spring
the,
or summer.
Planning for the next year.
May through September, through October, actually.
well,
Halloween.
those dates get to be the toughest ones with vacation and summer
I
and.
know.
We're pretty much set at that.
Yeah, that's
what
what I'm.
we've got going on.
Well, I kind of thought that if we met in January, well, we would meet again in December. We'd have a December meeting because that kind of took 2 months anyway.
Yeah.
That's setting us up. January, we're falling into the new year. What's happening in the new year? The budget gets set. Typically, it's voted on after the September meeting. The budget planning starts late July. So we would meet July. We're gonna see, you know, we're gonna be in communication during the summer because of the concerts and the movies anyway. We don't do a lot of the planning of those things during our meetings, really.
Yeah.
It's more communication type stuff. If we just started with a January meeting, it would look like January, March, May, July, September, December,
We need the one in October for Halloween.
so. But what do we need it for?
Well, we used to put together bags of candy. Are we not gonna do that anymore?
We didn't do that this year
Yeah,
either.
I know.
And I think it worked fine. Dan, what do you
Yeah,
think,
no,
Jamie?
Did it work
Yeah.
all right?
It was
Yeah.
fine,
Fine.
yeah. And I think the whole
The
process,
environment.
oh shoot, I forgot the bin that I was gonna ask you to store away again for
Oh,
later.
just stopping.
Okay,
I like the work.
I mean, we've got a pretty good plan of.
Yeah.
We have the same decorations, it's set up the same way and. It's pretty straightforward, so. But. Everybody good with an every other. And Lindsay, I don't think we need to do anything other than, that's when we're meeting, by town code, we only need to meet 4 times a year, so.
Great. And I
And
can make
that's
sure it
6.
gets on our board meeting for like the dates.
Thoughts on. I would like to try to have a meeting at some point at some of the parks. I mean, just now, the fact that we have the equipment at there, just. Have thoughts on that, or
We've done
for
it
now, do we
fast.
just keep setting here as our spot and we can change them as needed? If we wanna try to meet
Lindsay,
in
would
the
you
park.
be able to record the meeting from these other parks with, just because we have Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I mean, if there's issues, I can just use my hotspot and I usually bring my laptop everywhere, so.
But we wouldn't be able to do
record.
a Zoom from the parks.
Not all the parks, but we could at Outhouse, Motion Junction, Schoolhouse right now is being used by our code enforcement, but there's internet down there.
No, but I mean, they don't have the setup for a Zoom.
I mean.
Oh, hold it, yeah.
But would you be able to record it like this is being recorded? You would.
When you on a Zoom, you just hit record.
There's no big display.
So any other than,
I'm
so
gonna tell your wife.
Jamie, I can get you those, the dates. Or I can add them in after just the,
I just put January, March, May, July, September, December.
okay, third Wednesday, then the December would be December 10th. Again, that would avoid a Thanksgiving and a Christmas, so. So any other, I'm looking to see if I wrote any other things down here. But I didn't. No others?
I don't have any.
Lindsay, anything else? Someone made a motion to adjourn,
Motion.
someone seconded that. Okay,
So next meeting is January 22nd.
January 22nd,
At 6 here.
here. And Lindsay, anything that you